students, good day. I'm Melnifer Osorio, your business math subject. Last time we discussed about addition and subtraction of whole number. Now let's continue our lesson for today. Another problem in addition whole number, applications of addition and subtraction budgets, personal bank records, multiplication and division of whole number. For example, in addition whole number, in certain part of the year, Mr. Raymond Alvarez, salesman, be asked by the supervisor of National Bookstore for a report on the sales of some mathematics books by a group of authors like the first 4 months for the year. The figures were shown in the sales report. Sa isang bahagi ng taon lal, si Mr. Raymond na isang salesman, tinatanong ng kanyang supervisor ng National Bookstore para i-report ang tungkol sa pagbibenta ng aklat sa mathematics na isang pangkat na merong pag-aakda tulad ng unang 4 na buwan ng taon. So, this is the estimated value of given for sales report. So, here's the report. Meron tayong books, 1 month, 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month, and the total. So, first, business mathematics book. First month, we have 500 pesos. Second month, 1,250 pesos. Third month, 750 pesos. Fourth month, 1,750 pesos. Then the total for 1 month to 4th month in business math is 4,250 pesos. Second, for college algebra books, 1 month we have 750 pesos. Second month, 1,500 pesos. Third month, 1,000 pesos. Fourth month, 1,250 pesos. Then the total for 1 month to 4th month in college algebra is 4,500 pesos. Third, for general mathematics books, 1 month we have 795 pesos. Second month, 1,060 pesos. Third month, 530 pesos. Fourth month, 795 pesos. Then the total for the 1 month to 4th month in general mathematics is 3,180 pesos. Fourth, for plain trigonometry, first month we have 1,120 pesos. Second month, 1,400 pesos. Third month, 1,680 pesos. Fourth month, 840 pesos. Then the total for 1 month to 4th month in plain trigonometry is 5,040 pesos. Fifth, quantitative techniques. First month, we have 275 pesos. Second month, 825 pesos. Third month, 825 pesos. Fourth month, 1,100 pesos. Then the total for first month to 4th month in quantitative techniques is 3,025 pesos. Sixth, trigonometry. First month, we have 520 pesos. Second month, 1,300 pesos. Third month, 1,040 pesos. Fourth month, 520 pesos. Then the total for first month to 4th month in trigonometry is 3,380 pesos. Seventh, college mathematics. First month, we have 400 pesos. Second month, 600 pesos. Third month, 1,200 pesos. Fourth month, 800 pesos. Then the total for first month to 4th month in trigonometry is 3,000 pesos. Next, for the total in first month only, 500 plus 750 plus 795 plus 1,120 plus 275 plus 520 plus 400 is equal to 4,360 pesos for first month. Next, for the total in second month only, 1,250 plus 1,500 plus 1,060 plus 1,400 plus 825 plus 1,300 plus 600 is equal to 7,930 1,000 plus 530 plus 1,680 plus 825 plus 1,040 plus 1,200 is equal to 7,025 pesos in third month. Next, for the total in fourth month only, 1,750 plus 1,250 plus 795 pesos plus 840 plus 1,100 plus 520 plus 800 is equal to 7,055 pesos in the month in fourth month. Next, the last, for the total amount in books 1 to 7, 4,250 plus 4,500 plus 3,180 plus 5,040 plus 3,025 plus 3,380 plus 300 is equal to 26,375 pesos for the total of full amount of books. Okay, next, applications of addition and subtraction. Definition of budget. To manage money wisely, one must plan one's expenditures and keep records to show how many is spent. Any head of any business or institution, be it public or private, whether it can be corporation, organization, or even a family, should make this plan. Such plan is called a budget. For those who are too busy to do the budgeting, they employ finance managers or accounts or even a secretary who knows how to do it. Upang manage natin yung pera, mga anak, dapat planuhin natin ang paggastos sa pera at manatiling maipakita yung record na ating mga ginagastos. Kahit sino o kahit anong head, katulad ng negosyo or institution, public or private man yan, maging corporation, organization, or even a family, ay dapat marunong magplano o mag-budget ng pera. Ito ay tinatawag natin na budget kung saan ito ay para sa mga masyadong abala sa paggawa o pagbabudget. Mga nagtatrabaho sa finance manager, accountants, or even a secretary na alam kung paano ito gawin o paano mag-handle nito sa isang business o kahit sa ating mga tahanan. Upang gawin natin itong simple, try natin ito sa ating tahanan kahit pandemic o kahit tanungin natin ang ating mga magulang about sa mga budget. For sure, alam naman ating mga magulang yon. Pero kahit sa inyong mga anak, dahil grade 11 na kayo, na i-apply nyo ito sa ating buhay, ang mga principles ay pareho sa lahat ng mga uri ng budget. Mga budget sa family or any corporation. So class, we have a formula. So first, beginning balance plus estimated income is equal to total estimate cash available. Second, total estimate cash available minus estimated expenses is equal estimated ending balance. To find the estimated balance on June 30, add the total of estimated income to the balance on hand on June 1 and then subtract the total of the estimated expenses. So we have an example. So the Matipid family cash budget for the month of June 2006. So we have an explanation, estimated income and estimated expenses. So first, for the date of June 1, our explanation, first meron po tayong balance ng June 1 na natira. Ito po ay 2,768. Next, salary of Tatay Matipid is 16,250 pesos na nasa estimated income. For salary of Nanay Matipid is 12,700 pesos na nasa estimated income. For explanation, rent for June na ating binayaran ay 5,200 pesos na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. Electric bill na ating binayaran po ay 1,400 pesos na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. Water bill na ating binayaran ay 150 pesos na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. ay 4,000 na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. Groceries, milk, butter, cheese, jam, cooking oil, detergent, toothpaste, floor wax, pasta, and so on. Meron po tayong na nagkakahalagang 6,800 pesos na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. Wet market like meat, fish, eggs, rice, vegetable, condiments, charcoal, lumpia, wrappers, seeds, fresh fruits na ating binayaran ay nagkakahalagang 6,500 pesos na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. Miscellaneous fee like fare, books, recreation na ating binayaran ay 4,000 pesos na nakalagay sa estimated expenses. Kung mapapansin nyo class, lahat po ay estimated value lang po. So our total for estimated income is 28,950 pesos dahil pinag-add po natin yung 16,250 plus 12,700 kaya nakuha po natin yung 28,950 pesos. Next, in-add din po natin yung balance natin yung June 1 na 2,768 kaya ang total po ng ating estimated income ay 31,718 pesos. Our totals for estimated expenses is 28,050 pesos. Bakit po? Dahil pinag-add po natin yung 5,200 plus 1,400 plus 150 plus 4,000 plus 6,800 plus 6,500 plus 4,000 kaya naging 28,050 pesos ang ating expenses. Next, para po makuha natin yung ating estimated balance for June 30, ipag-subtract po natin yung ating pera na 31,718 minus sa ating estimated expenses na 28,050 pesos. Kaya ang ating estimated balance for June 30 ay 3,668 pesos. Next, definition of personal bank records. There are usually two kinds of account. The savings account or SA and the current account na CA. There are three types of saving account. The one that uses a bank book. The second is one that uses an ATM card or tinatawag natin automated teller machine. And the third is the time deposit. The savings account all earn a very small rate of interest but which is negligible. The CA is mostly used by people who do not wish to carry any amount of money for safety sake. If they go to supermarkets and gas stations or drugstores, they write out checks to pay for their purchases. These checks are orders directing the bank to make the payments for them. A CA or current account or depositor should keep a record of his deposits and checks so that he will always know his balance against which a check may be written if he writes out a check that is more than the balance in his deposits. He can be sued by the recipient for being given a bouncing check and may become guilty of a crime called estafa or fraud which is punishable by law. Ang savings account class ay kumikita ng napakaliit na rate na tubo depende sa bawat rate na ating i-deposit sa bangko at mas lalo na kung ito ay mapapabayaan natin. Ang current account ay kadalasan ginagamit natin upang hindi na tayo magdala ng kahit anumang halaga o pera para sa ating kaligtasan. Mas lalo na kung pupunta tayo sa supermarket, gasoline station, drugstore, or mall. So dito tayo ay nagsusulat na lang sa mga cheque if ever na meron tayo ito na nanggaling sa ating bangko. Then based sa ating in-order or binili, if ever na meron, ito ay magdadirect agad sa bangko nila upang makakuha ng pambayad sa kanilang ginastos. Ang sa depositor kung magkano ang kanyang dinedeposit o ilalagay sa kanyang cheque upang makapagbayad ng buo sa kanyang mga pinaggagastusan. Ewing class, for example, for the first quarter of 2007, Ikaw Salamat has bookshowed a balance of 16,518.70 pesos on January 2. During the 3-month period, she had withdrawals of 1,350 pesos, 1,070 pesos, 875 pesos, and 500 pesos. She deposited 418.50 pesos, 695 pesos, 1,034.45 pesos, and 3,353.25 pesos. So, the question is, find her balance on March 31. So, sabi nga po dyan, class, nung first quarter daw po, si Miss Nicole Salamat ay pinakita yung kanyang passbook. So, na meron po siyang balance na aking nabanggit kanina at yun po ay yung 16,518.70 pesos. Then, sa panahon ng 3 buwan, nag-withdraw po siya ng nabanggit ko po kanina kung magkano po ba yung kanyang withdraw at yung kanyang i-deposit sa bangko. So, ang tinatanong lang naman po dyan, class, is yung balance nyo po noong March 31. So, let's add. So, solution, deposit. So, we have 418.50 plus 695 plus 1,034.45 plus 3,353.25 is the total of 5,501.20. So, ibig sabihin guys, yan po yung total ng ating deposit. Next, withdrawal. So, yung ating withdraw o withdraw po ni Miss Nicole Salamat is 1,350 plus 1,070 plus 875 plus 500 is the total of 3,795 pesos. So, yun naman daw po yung withdraw o yung pinaka-total na withdraw ni Nicole Salamat. So, next, our previous balance is 16,518.70. Now, i-plus po natin yung ating deposit na 5,501.20 na kanina po natin kinumpute. Next, so ang total po nun, yung ating total cash available ngayon ay 22,019.19 pesos. Then, i-minus po natin sa ating total cash available yung ating withdraw na 3,795 pesos. So, ang bago nating balance ay nagkakalagang 18,224.90 pesos na magiging balance po ngayon ng ating March 31. So, that's the answer of balance on March 31. May kita nyo class, meron po akong simple example para sa aking checkbook. So, yan po yung aking checkbook. So, meron tayong makikita ang account number dyan, account name, check number. Then, meron din tayong RD number or mga nakalagay kung magkano halaga, mga date. And then, kung saan po ba dadalhin yung ating cheque. Then, be sure class, sa bawat cheque na matatanggap natin o ibibigay po sa atin, be sure meron po siyang signature or firma. Then, next po class, our formula. So, first, meron tayong savings account. So, ano nga po ba yung ating formula para sa savings account? So, previous balance plus deposit is equal to total cash available. Next, total cash available minus withdrawals is equal to new balance. So, yan po yung ating ginawa kanina. Then, next, letter B, current account. Previous balance plus deposit is equal to total cash available. Then, next, total cash available minus po natin sa ating check issue. Yan po ay magiging new balance na po natin. Next, for example po class, so Prince Brudas deposits and checks for December 2006 are as follows. So, ito po yung example para po makita po natin yung ating deposits, then yung ating din po i-check. Next, first po, meron December 1, so ang balance po natin, December 1 ay 23,612.73 plus po natin yung December 4 na nag-deposit po tayo ng 700 pesos. So ngayon, ang magiging total po natin ay 24,312.73 pesos. Next po, for December 11, check issue. Nag-check po tayo ng mga issue. So, minus po natin yung ating 8,906.25 pesos. So, ngayon, ang ating total naman po ay 15,406.48 pesos. Then, next po, noong December 14 daw po, nag-deposit po ulit tayo na nagkakahalaga 6,375.20 pesos. So, ngayon, ang total po natin ay 21,781.68 na daw po yung pera ni Mr. Prince. Then next, on December 21 po, nag-check po ulit tayo ng mga issue. So, i-minus po natin yung ating issue na 4,926.45 pesos. So, ngayon, yung ating 21,000 kanina ay nabawasan na po ngayon. Kaya po, naging 16,855.23 na lang po. Then, nung December 29 daw po, si Mr. Prince Brutus po ay nag-deposit ng kanyang balance na kakahalagang 2,318 pesos. So ngayon, kung kanina ang ating total ay 16,000 na lang, ngayon po ang magiging balance na po na bago ni Mr. Prince Brutus ay 19,173.23 pesos. Next, kung okay na po tayo, tapos na po tayo sa ating addition whole number and subtraction whole number. Now, let's start for multiplication of whole number. Multiplication of whole number is actually a shortcut method for addition. Definition of multiplication is a short process of adding the numbers several times. The multiplicand is the number to be multiplied. The multiplier is the number of times by which to multiply. The result obtained by multiplication is called the product. The numbers multiplied, both multiplicand and multiplier, are called factors. Okay, next, for multiplication is the combination of two whole numbers in which the number of times one is represented is determined by the value of the other. So, for example, class, meron akong given na binigay natin po yung 285 times 43. So, now, since 285 po, yan po ay tinatawag natin multiplicand. Then, yung times 48 po natin, yan naman po ay tinatawag natin multiplier. Then, yung ating 855 naman po, na nakuha, ay tinatawag naman po natin partial product 1. Then next, yung ating 1,140 naman po, yan naman po yung tinatawag na partial product 2. Then, if ever na nakuha na po natin yung sagot natin sa 3 times 8, if ever naman po na nakuha na natin yung ating answer sa 3 times 5, 3 times 8, 3 times 2, then ganun din po sa 4 times 5, 4 times 8, and 4 times 2, kaya pwede na po natin i-add yung ating sagot para sa ating given na ito. So now, ang total po ng ating answer para sa given na ito ay 12,255 po na tinatawag natin ngayon na product. Next, in mathematics class, the times sign represented by the symbols X or tuldo or open-close parenthesis kung minsan is used to indicate multiplication. So for example, class, 12 times 18 can be expressed as 12x 18. O kaya naman po, pwedeng 12 tuldok then 18. O kaya naman din po, pwedeng 12 times 18 na gumamit po tayo ng open-close parenthesis. So yan po yung ilan sa mga symbols na ating ginagamit kung ina-apply natin yung word of multiplication. Multiplying whole numbers. So we have 3 steps in multiplying. First step, write the factors in columns so that the place values line up. The second, multiply each digit of the multiplier multiplier starting with units times the multiplicand yield a partial product whose units digits appears under the corresponding digit of the multiplier. Number 3, and the digits in each column of the partial product starting on the right with the units column. So dito class, yung steps na to, in-apply na natin siya kanina sa aking examples. Next, always zero. So ano po ba yung ibig sabihin ng always zero? When multiplying any number times zero, the resulting product is always zero. So for example po class, 537 times 0 is equal to 0. So kung gagamitin po natin ang 0, syempre yung magiging sagot po natin ay always 0. Mas lalo na po kung sa multiplication. Next po, itself, when multiplying a number times 1, the product is that number itself. So ibig sabihin po niyan, for example, 1,844 times 1, automatic po, yun pa rin po yung sagot niya. Yun po yung 1,844. Next, then zeros, when number is multiplied by 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, and so on, simply attach the zeros of the multiplier to the end of that number. So for example po dyan class, 792 times 100 is equal to 79,200. So ibig sabihin, yung word of zeros, dyan po tayo nagtatapos sa mismong zero. Dahil gumamit po tayo ng 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, gumamit po tayo ng mga ganyang numbers na itinayos po natin sa kahit anong number na ating ibibigay in the given. Next, and zeros. When the multiplicand and or the multiply the two numbers without the zeros, attach the number of zeros to the product. So for example nga po, in and zeros, 130 times 90 is equal to 11,700. So ibig sabihin po class, yung ating given, always po siya nagtatapos sa 0. Kaya po yung ating answer din, same lang din po na nagtapos sa 0. Next po, for verification or verifying. So for example, for multiplication, meron pong given na binigay na 48 times 7 is equal to 336 ang ating answer for multiplication. So now, yung word of verification, try po natin i-apply in division. So, yung ating answer na 336 ay i-divide po natin sa kanina po nating tinimes na 7. So, lalabas po yung ating minuwend na 48. So, ayan po yung example for verification natin in multiplication to division. Next, principles of multiplication. Cumulative principle. The order of the factors does not affect the product. So, ibig sabihin ko ng does not affect ay hindi po tayo makaka-apekto kung ano na po yung maging results o maging answer po ng ating given. So, for example po class, 9 times 5. So, kapag binaliktad naman po natin na gawin po natin 5 times 5, di ba po same answer lang din naman po. Next, associative principles. When there are 3 or more numbers to be multiplied, the way you group the numbers does not affect the product. So, another does not affect. So, hindi po ulit siya makaka-apekto sa ating product. So, for example po, yung ating associative principle, yan po yung nagkaroon na tayo na open close parenthesis. So, you can apply our first symbol again. Then next, ayan po yun. For example po ay 5 times 2 times 3. So, yung ating open close parenthesis ay nasa pagitan lang naman po ng 5 and 2. Then, another naman po para po dun sa kabila naman. For example po, meron tayong 5 times 2 times 3. So, yung open close parenthesis ay nasa pagitan naman po ni 2 and 3. Next, identify principles. A number is not changed when it is multiplied by 1. Thus, 1 is identified element for multiplication. So, ibig sabihin po ni ma'am, sa identify principle, always tayong nag-multiply by 1. For example po, 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So, ganun din po. Para lang din po siyang itself. Next, zero principle. When a number is multiplied by zero, the product is always zero. So, ibig sabihin daw po nun, kung sakasakali po mag-multiply tayo gamit ang zero, automatic po, ang lahat ng sagot natin, kahit mataas man po yung ating given like 7 in the example, automatic ang answer po ay zero. Next, distributive principle. This principle states that the multiplier must be made to operate upon each term of the sum or difference. So, ibig sabihin lang po niya, katulad lang din po ng ating ginamit sa associative, yun nga lang po, nag-add po tayo ng panibagong sign at naglagay po tayo ng addition sign. So, for example po class, 3 times 5 plus 7. Then, equal po natin sa kanina nating given. So, for example po, 3 times 5 plus 7. So, dito class, kung makikita nyo, nasa pagitan po ng 5 plus 7 yung ating open close parenthesis. Then, equal po sa ating another given na 3 times 5 plus 3 times 7. So, ibig sabihin lang po class, pinag-iwalay lang po natin yung value ng 3. So, kung kanina sa kabila po, isa lang po yung ating 3. Ngayon po, dito po, dalawa po yung ating 3. Pinag-iwalay lang naman po natin. But, don't worry, kasi same answer pa rin naman po ang kalalabasan nun. Katulad po nito. So, yung ating 3, bin-bring down ko lang, then 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. So, 3 times 12, ang answer po ay 36. Then, sa kabila naman po, 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Plus po natin sa 3 times 7 na 21. So, 15 plus 21 is equal to 36. So, ibig sabihin, equal lang po yung ating paggamit ng distributive principle. Nag-distribute lang naman po tayo. 3 times 5, 3 times 7. So, ganun lang po yung ating principles of multiplication. Next, kung tapos na tayo sa ating addition, subtraction, and multiplication of full numbers, so now, division full numbers. So, first, goals. Perform long division with whole numbers. Definition of division is the process of finding out how many times one number, the divisor, I contain in another number, the dividend. The resulting number is called the quotient. Let's start by taking a look at a more straightforward example. Here we have 6 divided 2. We should be aware there are several ways to represent division of whole numbers. Remember, a fraction bar also represents division. Then for long division problems in this way, ascertain number of items and split them up into groups. So 6 divide 2 means we have 6 items and we want to divide those into 2 groups. So if we take a total of 6 and divide into 2 groups, now we can see that when we take 6 and divide 2 groups, each group will have 1, 2, 3 items. Therefore, 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. The number being divided is called the dividend. So, in this problem, 6 is the dividend. The number we are dividing by is called the divisor 2. Then, the answer is called the quotient. So, for this problem, 3 is our quotient. Now, before we take a look at some more involved problems, let's go back and take a look at the multiplication table. A multiplication table class can also help us perform long division. For example, if I wanted to know what 56 divided 8 was, I could use this multiplication table. The first I will do is find 56 in the table which we see here. If we take 56 and divide by 8, we can find the quotient by determining the factor in this row. So 56 divided by 8 is equal to 7. Notice, there's another 56 in this table. If we take 56 and divide by 8 using this row, then this column will tell us our quotient, which is 7. This table can be very helpful when we're first learning how to divide. divide. Let's go ahead and take a look at some examples that require long division. In our video class called long division, we learned how to do division problems that had long multi-digit dividends. The idea was to break up a big division problem into a series of smaller and easier division steps. And that involved trying to divide the dividend one digit at a time, digit by digit. And in the example, we saw going digit by digit was pretty easy because we only had one digit divisors. But what if we need to use the division method for problems that have bigger divisor? Like if you are dividing by a 2 or more, or 2 or 3 digit number. In this lesson class, we're gonna learn how you handle problems like that. The good news is that you kind of already know what to do. You just may not really it yet. To see what I mean, I have a look at these two division problems. They both have the same dividend and both have one digit divisor. But these divisors are different numbers, and as you will see, that's going to affect our digit by digit divisor process. To solve this problem, we start by asking how many 2's does it take to make 5 or almost 5? Or you can think of it as how many 2's will fit into 5? And it's easy to see that the answer is 2. So we put a 2 as the first digit of our answer. Then we multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. And we subtract that 4 from the 5, which leaves as a remainder of 1. Now, we move to our next digit and we need to bring down a copy of it to combine with the remainder from the first digit. Then we ask, how many 2's will make 12? That's easy, 6. So we put 6 as the next digit of our answer. 2 times 6 is equal to 12. And 12 minus 12 leaves no remainder. And finally, for our last digit, even though there was no remainder, we can bring a copy down and ask, how many 2's will make 8? And the answer is exactly 4. 4 times 2 is equal to 8, which again leaves no remainder. There we went digit by digit and broke our problem up into 3 division steps, 1 for each digit. And we got our answer is 264. Okay, let's try another solving for new division problems. So class, another examples. So let's try another solving for new division problems that have the same dividend as before but 2 new divisors. In this problem class, we could start by asking how many 24's will fit to 5. But since our divisor now has 2 digits, we already know that no 1-digit chunk of the dividend will be big enough for the 2 divide into. So because we have a 2-digit divisor, we automatically need to group the first 2 digits and ask, how many 24's will make 52? This is strictly multiplies of 24 are not on our multiplication table. Instead, we have to figure it out by estimating or good guessing. Before we know that 2 times 25 will be 50. 2 is already good estimate for the first digit of our answer. Are so good. We've already dealt with the first 2 digits of the dividend. So now we bring down the last 2 digits to join the remainder and ask, how many 24's will make 48? That's easy. It's 2 again because we just saw that 2 times 24 is 48. So that will leave no remainder. So that answer to this 2-digit divisor problem is 22. So next, in division class, meron din naman the number. For example, class, 9 divide 1 is equal to 9. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po nagbago yung ating pinakamalaking number kapag nag-divide tayo sa 1. Another, when a number not 0 is divided by itself, the quotient is 1. For example, class, 12 divide 12. The automatic answer is 1. So, ganoon naman po lagi, class. Diba, pag division, kung i-divide po natin siya itself. Another, 9 divide 9. Automatic, the answer is 1. When 0 is divided by a number not 0, the quotient is 0. For example, class, 0 divide 7. Diba, the answer is 0. So, ganoon din po sa ibang mga biggest number, kung mauna po yung ating numerator kaysa kay denominator. For example, ang numerator po ulit natin ay 0, then i-divide po natin sa ating denominator na 5. So, ang magiging total po ng ating equal nun ay 0. 0 can never be used as a divisor if the dividend and the divisor are multiplied or divided by the same number, not 0. So, for example, class, 12 divide 4 is equal to 3. So, meron tayong numerator which is yung 12, then yung ating denominator, yun po yung 4. Then, yung equal 3, yan po yung pinaka-answer natin. So, now, try po natin to. Example, 12 times 3 is equal to 36. Then, yun po yung ating numerator. Then, yung ating denominator, 4 times 3. Yung mga tinatimes po natin na 3, yan po yung pinaka-answer, no? Then, 36 divide 12, so magiging answer pa rin po natin ay 3. So, dito makikita nyo, class, gumamit tayo ng multiplication. Another example po, class. At our given, 48 divide 6 is equal to 8. So, yung ating numerator ay 48, ating denominator ay 6. Then, equal po natin sa answer na 8. So, now, 48 divide 3. Ma'am, bakit po naging 3? Kasi po, yung 6 na ating denominator, dinivide po natin sa 2. Kaya lumabas po ay 3. So, na, pwede na po natin siyang i-apply sa ating numerator and the denominator. So, 48 divide 3 is equal to 16. Next, ating denominator, 6 divide 3, ang answer po natin ay 2. Now, 16 divide 2, makukuha na po natin yung answer na 8. Okay, next. So, dahil tapos na po tayo sa ating whole numbers, for whole numbers, which is addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. Now, let's start in decimal. So, what is decimal, class? So, decimal, it is the definition, are a special way of writing proper fraction that have denominators ending with 0 or with it so far as zero. Thus, when 1 over 10, 2 over 100, 3 over 1,000, 4 over 10,000, 5 over 100,000, and 6 over 1 million. Begin, kapag decimal po tayo sa 1 over 10, dyan po natin i-apply yung ating decimal na magiging 0.1 na lang po. Then, sa ating 2 over 100, kapag in-apply po natin siya na decimal, po pwede pong maging 0.02. Next, 3 fractions sa ating 1,000. So, kapag gumamit tayo ng decimal, po pwede pong maging 0.003. Next, 4, divide po natin sa ating 10,000. So, kapag in-apply po natin siya na decimal, magiging 0.004. Next, so sa ating 5, divide 100,000. So, kapag in-apply po natin ulit yung ating decimal, magiging 0.0005. So, magiging tatlo na po yung ating 0. And sa ating the last, 6 over 1 million. So, dyan po makikita yung ating 0.000006. So, ibig sabihin, 5 naman po yung ating 0 sa 6. Kapag gumamit po tayo ng 1 million using decimal, respectively. So, now, reading decimals. Read the number after decimal point as a whole number and give it the name of its last decimal place. Thus, point 135 is read as 135,000. 4.18 is read as 4 and 8 leading to number 10, and to calculate by decimal is simply to extend into the field of fractions the same method of counting that we employ when dealing with the whole numbers. So next class, shown below are the decimal digits places. So kung makikita nyo class, yung ating 1, yan po ay tinatawag natin tens. Then 2, yan naman po ay tinatawag natin hundreds. Then yung 3, yan naman po ay tinatawag natin thousands. Then yung 4, yan naman po ay tinatawag natin 10,000. Then yung 5, yan naman po ay tinatawag natin 100,000. Then yung 6, yan po ay yung million. Next, to change any common fractions to decimal, divide the numerator and write the quotient in decimal form. So class, addition and subtraction of decimal. To add or subtract decimals, place the numbers in a column with the decimal points in a column. And or subtract as for whole numbers, placing the decimal point in the result in the column of decimal points. So for example class, find the sum of 2.43, 1.485, 0.3, 12.02, and 0.074. So now, apply po natin siya class using addition. So now, so sa first, so kung makikita nyo sa aking left, ay wala pa pong ina-apply na 0 o wala pa pong dinadagdag na 0. Let's add and let's compute. 2.43 plus 1.485 plus 0.3 plus 12.02 plus 0.074 is equal to 16.309. So kung mapapansin nyo, kung wala tayong idadagdag na 0, nakakalito, di ba? So tingnan naman po natin yung sa kanan. So kung mapapansin nyo po sa kanan, may makikita po kayo sa bawat dulo po ng ating number ay meron kayong makikita 0. Okay, so let's compute. 2.430 plus 1.485 plus 300 plus 12.20 plus 0.74. So equal po ay 16.309. So kung mapapansin niyo po, without 0 o with 0, iisa pa rin po yung ating answer at yan po ay yung 16.309. Next, another example in addition and subtraction decimal places. Example, add 6.2, 2.0, 0.16, 10, 0.00, 4.651. So kung mapapansin niyo po class, yung ating example ay lahat na po ay may mga 0 sa pinakadulo. So ibig sabihin, hindi na po tayo mahihirapan kung paano po ba-computein yung ating decimal. So 6.200 plus 2.000, 0.160 plus 10.000 plus 4.651. Ang total po ng ating example for this given ay 23.011. So, ganyan lang po naman ang ating pag-a-add or pag-compute using decimal places o decimal point. Okay, class. Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. So, thank you for watching and thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy